I just wanted to pop in and chat with you a little bit about the upcoming full moon on next Monday. And so the upcoming full moon will be in Aries, and it will be on September 24th, which, as of this recording, is next Monday. So that's what we're going to chat about. And Aries moon in general is generally considered a time of action and initiation. Aries symbolizes the warrior archetype, the, get up and go, I want to battle, I want to, butt heads. Think of, Aries and the ram, and how, in the spring, the rams they butt heads and kind of have that conflict. And so an Aries moon can be intense and impulsive. And a lot of times with the Aries moon, people find they have a lot of energy that they just don't know what to do with. And so I always suggest just moving your body. If you feel like you have all this energy just sitting in your body that you don't know what to do with, and if you just let it sit, you're probably going to be a little impulsive or act rashly. Just get up and take a walk, even if it's just like walking around the house. Just move your body to kind of get rid of some of that excess energy. As far as correspondences for an Aries moon, these are just some very general correspondences. For herbs, you have basil, dandelion, and peppermint. Bloodstone, fire agate, and ruby are gemstones. And then for animal correspondences, I like magpie, ram, and red-tailed hawk. Now for this specific full moon, it occurs September 24th at 7:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to know, I don't have this on here, but it is happening at 2 degrees Aries. And so this full moon is called the harvest moon. The harvest moon is the closest full moon to the autumn equinox, and that happened on September 22nd, so 2 days before this full moon. And the harvest moon is literally what it sounds like. It's the time where you harvest. You take a look at what seeds you have metaphorically planted over the year, and what has grown and what hasn't. So you're taking a look at what's ready to be harvested and used, and what didn't grow and is ready to be cleared out and let go of. In terms of the specific astrology for this full moon is conjunct Chiron. And so that means for a lot of us, something about our wounds will probably come up. And something about, with full moons generally, they reveal something to us. They illuminate something. If you think about how the full moon is in the sky and it's very bright and it illuminates the world around us quite literally, because as long as there's no clouds, of course, it can be a very bright night outside. And so metaphorically speaking, the full moon does that for our lives as well. And sometimes it's more inner life and inner emotional work, and sometimes it's something physical in our life. So a full moon conjunct Chiron, this means something is going to potentially be illuminated about wounds we have that we carry, or perhaps we will be taught something or learn something through our wounds. And Chiron wounds are generally, I don't know if you know the history behind Chiron, but generally Chiron wounds are wounds that we carry with us for either a very long time or perhaps even our lifetime. It's those very deep-seated wounds that we're kind of constantly excavating and dealing with as we go through our life. So the full moon is also squaring Saturn, which is currently in Capricorn. And Saturn here, this has come up a few times especially around with the eclipses we had and a lot of that. It's kind of this little bit of the same energy where we very well might come up against an obstacle that we have to deal with or work through or learn how to work with. And so squaring Saturn with this energy, this gives this full moon a weight to it. There's a heaviness with this full moon where something important may happen, something important may be revealed. There may be something coming up for us around father figures, father wounds, something where, it's just, and I hate this because we just, we got through retrogrades, we just got through eclipses, we had that beautiful new moon in Virgo, which was very light and healing for a lot of us, and now we're kind of going a little bit back into the heaviness. And so there's an important but heavy, weighty quality to this full moon where I feel like there's going to be something meaty that we kind of have to sit with and deal with and learn to work through, and it may be a little uncomfortable. And so what I recommend for this full moon, because full moons, this is where it gets a little tricky because, Aries, like I've mentioned in the slide before this one, Aries is very much a sign of initiation and starting and kind of warrior and just, jumping straight into battle. And I'm going to actually switch back to the webcam here for a second. But with the Aries moon being a full moon, full moons are really more about taking a step back. They're really for, celebrating. This kind of corresponds with the harvest moon a little bit, where it's about celebrating what you've accomplished since the new moon, how far you've come in terms of achieving whatever goal or intention you set at the new moon, and also getting ready to kind of, as you move into after the full moon, the waning moon, where you start to release and let things go. And so you don't necessarily want to take action with this full moon, even if it is in Aries, but what I suggest in order to use that fire energy is to have a fire ritual. And so that can take a lot of forms depending on what is coming up for you and what you're feeling. If you're feeling like something's coming up for you with this full moon, something's being illuminated, some obstacle, and you really feel like you need to let something go, I would go for it. I would write it down on a piece of paper and, burn it in whatever safe way you can, and release that way with this full moon. That would be a really great way to use this very action-oriented energy with the full moon. And it's a little tricky because it's Aries, again, very action-oriented, but we do have that square to Saturn, which is very much an obstacle. Something's going to be in our way. And so there may be a little bit of tension there where we're feeling like we want to get started on something, we want to get going, we want to do this thing, but we can't because there is literally something blocking us. And so I think this full moon, I do think it may be a little uncomfortable. I think there may be very much a sense of we want to get going on something, but we can't. And we have to sit with that. We have to sit and be a little uncomfortable. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a necessary thing for us to be reminded of, that we can sit in that and it's okay. And so I do recommend doing a fire ritual, either for releasing, like I've already mentioned, or you can also do a fire ritual to celebrate what you have accomplished, how far you have come, what you have done with your new moon intention, or even celebrating, since this is the harvest moon, celebrating what you've done this year, what you've accomplished this year, what seeds you've sown that have grown, and now you're reaping the benefits. So I hope that helps you with this upcoming full moon and any ideas that you may have. And let me know, how will you be celebrating this full moon on Monday? And I will chat with you soon. Bye.